Hey guys, welcome to episode 142 of 343. Great to be here. Before I get in, I just want to apologize to the champ Asfar Gafoor. Sorry for keeping you waiting, my man, but we're here and we're good to go. So, welcome to the episode. We've got a fantastic episode today, but just to go around the horn here and say hi to everyone, starting with AF. What's happening, my man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Almost like I checked off one of the bigger parts of my work job thingies today. So now it's just plain sailing into December now, man. I'm waiting for it. I can't wait for it. So I'm good.
Lovely. Lovely. Sounds good. Riaz obviously on cloud nine after Spurs scored 4 goals in one game, not over 4 games.
Surprising, eh? Surprised us all, I feel like.
Yeah, but I see that smile on your face. You're beaming. So let's try and keep that going. And then last but not least, our special guest, the mighty Reds 97, Brandon. Welcome to Sportycast. Welcome to 343.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, no, we're also quite excited, and as you can see in the chat, the Liverpool fans are in full flow. Probably has something to do with that win last night, which we'll touch on a bit later. But I also see we have Sadiq over here, Chelsea. They're probably playing tonight. So he's made an appearance until he disappears. Ramiz definitely Parker Cost. We got the trifecta going. So that's a good spot from you and Hamza. Welcome. And they're tuning in from the UK. So I hope all is good on your side. So just to run through what we're going to be covering today, we're going to go through just a quick review of the past weekend games. And I think all our teams did fairly well. So that's going to be a positive experience. Yeah, Riaz, you did fairly well, right? And then we're going to go into the preview with Man City, Liverpool, and Spurs, Man United. So before we get into all of that, Brandon, I'm going to have to come back to you because what we usually do with our guests is a little icebreaker. So just an easy question for you now, just to kind of get the juices flowing. I wanted to know from you if you could pick a Legends five-a-side team. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, what does your five-a-side team look like?
I can only pick Liverpool players.
Yeah, since that's your team, right?
Okay, well, it would have to be Alisson in goals.
Okay.
Do we need a centre back? Yeah, we'll go one centre back. Van Dijk, obviously. Alonso.
Nice.
I like that.
Gerrard. And how many have I got left? One.
Yeah, one left.
I'll go Suarez up front.
Yeah, some bite. I love it.
That's a dangerous.
So, perfect. He would be a perfect five-a-side player. Suarez.
Actually, I must commend you for getting 5 because when I was given this task, I chose 6 because we always play.
The more the merrier.
So yeah. Now that sounds exciting. I see you have something for that era of Liverpool, which is quite interesting. So yeah, Brandon, just to stay with you, just talk to us a bit about how you're feeling after last night's fantastic victory, wiping the floor with Real Madrid. I mean, the score was only 1-0, but the performance was quite emphatic.
Yeah, Courtois was insane last night. I think it could have been 3-0 definitely without him. It got me flashbacks to that final in Paris. But I think we found our best 11 last night. Seeing Viet on the left, I had questions, but I think it works because, I mean, he's on the left, but he's not really on the left. Like he's kind of in a floating role, and it kind of makes us more unpredictable. And I love Gakpo. I don't want to use this as a stick to beat him with or anything like that. But when a match isn't going our way, with Gakpo, it kind of starts getting a bit predictable. It's always the cut in. Either he crosses or he shoots. Yeah. But like I said, with Viet in that floating role, it just makes us so much more unpredictable. And then we still get to have that core midfield 3 from last season. So, yeah, hopefully we can keep that going.
Pretty good. And to stay on Liverpool, just going back to the weekend, obviously getting the win after 4 consecutive or five, was it 4 or 5 losses? I lost track. But just to get back to quite positive coming into this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Look, this weekend, I don't know how much you want to get into it already, but I don't know what to make of this weekend with City.
okay, so
Because
we'll let that linger a little and let you think about it a bit as we go to some of the other guys. AF, talk to us. How are you feeling about United from the weekend that passed?
Man, 3 minutes of stupidity. Or I don't know. I think that they were still chilling in the dressing room for about like a few minutes. I literally went inside. I went to go get me some coffee, and I came back and they conceded 2 goals. I was like, what happened? Like I still made sure to see if the TV was okay, if something happened, if there was a glitch somewhere. No, it was just absolutely poor from
Just
them. But
United.
they bounced back well.
Exactly.
Like if I'm looking at like positives from it, last season we definitely throw that game. 100% we end up losing that one. So I'm looking at a very thin silver lining over there. And yeah, at the end of it all, Amad Diallo scores a goal, my favorite player. So I can't be upset about that.
bloody good goal
Yeah,
as well.
fair enough. It was.
Very good
He's a
goal.
really good player, and we're waiting for our Temu version of Amad Diallo to pull into the chat. Hopefully, he comes in soon. But yeah, United, just a bit weird. One thing from that game, obviously, the big talking point about did the ball go out or not, and I feel like it's just completely overblown. Nobody could really see if it did go out or not, and that type of call happens in almost every game. So I don't see what the big
Yeah.
deal is. So I thought that was quite overblown. But yeah, I
But
think you guys just want to give that guy a haircut, man. Win 5, get the guy a haircut, and then you can go
And
back to doing whatever
poor
you do.
Frank.
I think I wonder how long you can go. Like if they never win 5 in a row, bro. Like, are you committed to this or what happens? Do you buy a
he
weekend
has
and
to.
cut your?
He has to commit. It's full commitment. It's too
You
big
reckon?
now to not commit. It has to be.
Like
But just on that corner thing, like you said, it happens like all the time. So like it shouldn't be a big deal. But like that's my kind of issue with it. Like there's so many goals that go in from corners that aren't corners, and so many kind of calls like that can be avoided that isn't really, and that kind of annoys me slightly. But like you said,
Did you see
it's
the
difficult.
replays? And could you
Yeah, I know I couldn't.
conclusively make it
No, I
exactly?
couldn't. I
So
couldn't.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
couldn't.
Like I also looked at the replays and I'm like, guys, come on, it wasn't
Yeah.
egregious. Like the whole
Yeah.
ball wasn't over.
Yeah.
You'd have to watch that like a million times to figure out. So that's why I wasn't too perturbed by it.
Yeah.
Speaking of corners, obviously my team won and scored off a corner, so we'll leave it at that.
What's new?
But for for you, Riaz, how was your weekend?
Not good,
football-wise?
eh? Not good.
Please
Ended
give
up.
Sadiq some information.
I feel like Sadiq, he's gone already. But in any case, yeah, it was a bit bad. It was played at home at Chelsea. It was really. I mean, what do we have? One shot on target the whole game. I had 6 shots or something in total. It was just terrible football in general, and yeah, it was disappointing. The fans with him off Van der Ven and Spence were annoyed with themselves, and rightly so. But
what is your take on that, by the way? The whole
no,
like
I don't
showing
think
it
there's
all in
an issue.
public.
I don't think there's an issue. I think like you should at least talk to the manager, but I think the manager knows as well. Like after they played like that, you're just really annoyed with yourself at the end of the day. I think you're just annoyed with yourself and you want to get off the field. Yes, you should be clapping the fans or whatever the case may be, but sometimes like it's a big derby. You played really, really badly. And you just want to get off the field. So I don't think it's a massive issue against Frank himself, to be honest. I don't think it's a big thing. And yeah, it's just I don't think we can be playing both Balinia and Bentancur at the end of the day. I think that's the main issue, and I think we've realized that after last night. So that's good to note. And I guess onward to the weekend. I mean, there's nothing more we can do. Chelsea are a top team. They beat us fair and square. We were very bad. So hopefully the weekend can be a bit better.
Yeah, I think
If
also
we,
interesting. We predicted a bit more goals in that game, and nothing came. Like, we'll discuss Spurs a bit later
yeah,
when we go to the Spurs United game. But I thought Frank was a bit defensive for a home game.
Yeah.
But I got some talking points that I want to touch on for that a bit later.
Okay.
But let's move on to
can
the big
before
game
we
preview.
before we go on, can I just like make one sort of observation? I don't know if you guys caught the West Ham Newcastle game over the weekend, but I think that could be a huge turning point for Nuno over there. That team looked like they finally started buying into what he's trying to do over there. And I don't know what's happening with Newcastle. They're a bit of a seesaw team, a bit of a roller coaster team at the moment. But yeah, it was a really like just an observation from me, a really good win for Nuno and for West Ham.
It was
Yeah, I think
surprising
it's
for
kind
sure.
of his usual. That's how he gets teams to play, right? So it's something to watch, obviously, as the season progresses. But good point with Newcastle. I also see that they blow a bit hot and cold. But I think West Ham, once they get into his training methods and he finds his best 11, I think they'll become hard to beat, right? Because that's generally a trademark of his teams. So yeah, good spot there. Relegation. Wolves obviously fired their manager. Talks of Gary O'Neill coming back, which was like strange because
He
they just fired
rejected.
him like a couple
Yeah.
months ago. But I'm glad they didn't do that. Did they settle on a manager? AF, do you know? I didn't see
It
anything.
seems like it's going to be Eric Ten Hag coming back
Ah,
to
lovely,
opening the
lovely.
league.
I just wanted you to say it.
Is that true? Is this the truth?
Yeah, I saw the
Yeah,
rumors.
yeah. He's the
It
front
seems like
runner.
it's very likely. Like there's like odds on and all of that nonsense. Gonna be
It
I'm
was
old
rooting for
guys.
that,
Ornstein
to be
talking
honest.
about it, eh?
Sorry.
Sorry?
I said it was Ornstein talking about it as well, I
Yeah.
think, yeah. So
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
legit.
That does make it legit, yes, of course. So we'll put a pin in that. Hopefully, he gets appointed in the international break, and then we have something fun to talk about. So, moving on to the preview, the big game, Man City Liverpool this weekend. The table set up actually quite nicely. City in second, Liverpool in third, going head to head. Couple of other games where the log position will change after the match most likely. So let's start with Liverpool. Obviously, Brandon, we spoke a bit about the game last night and what Liverpool did well. Obviously, comment section there we see Conor Bradley did his job at right back. So hopefully, Slot keeps it simple and just picks the same back four again.
Yeah.
But going forward, I think a point you made, obviously, with Florian Wirtz, who kind of found a bit of a role, on that left. Do you see that tactical approach that they used against Real Madrid being a similar one to what they'll do against City? Obviously, they're going to be playing away.
Well, yeah, like I was saying earlier, I don't know what to make of this one because I'm so used to a Pep team wanting to dominate possession. But you look at that game against Bournemouth on the weekend and just City in general, Bournemouth came away from the Etihad with more possession. Not by a lot, but still, that's very unusual. So, I mean, when we beat City at the Etihad last season, we had to sit back and soak up all the pressure and pick our moments to obviously attack. It looks like it could be the reverse this season where they're the ones soaking up the pressure. And I think it's all going to be about how do we deal with how quick they are in transition with getting the ball to Haaland. Can we deal with that? And can they deal with soaking up all the pressure? So I don't know. I've never gone to the Etihad thinking, oh yeah, we're going to dominate possession. I've never thought that at all, but it could be the case this time.
Yeah, that was a big talking point coming out of the weekend with Pep looking to be more comfortable letting the other team have the ball a little bit more and focusing on that transition. So from a City perspective, Riaz, to bring you in, obviously one of your favorite players, Ryan Cherky, is getting a lot of Kevin De Bruyne buzz. Are you buying, selling? What do you think? Are they on target with that comparison?
I think what we've said so far is very true and very interesting because they've, in letting the other team have the ball more, it kind of allows them to shift their defense or their defensive their back four further up the field, which then in turn creates more room for Haaland to run into. So that I think is part of kind of the plan here, which is to in letting the other team have the ball is to get that space so that Haaland can run into it, which we've seen now for the last couple of weeks. I mean, it took 3 touches and Haaland was through on for the first goal, and the whole of Bournemouth's backline was on the halfway line, and Haaland just had a straight run through on goal, which was crazy. I mean, where do you see that at the Etihad, Bournemouth having their defensive back four on the halfway line? So I thought that was very interesting. So I think he's doing really well in kind of using that transition to the advantage now, rather than having all the ball and camping in the other team's half and trying to play through the teams that have a low block. And because we've seen that's very difficult, especially with the teams nowadays. They kind of well drilled with that low block. So to have a different way of playing and allowing your star striker to have so much space to run into, I think it's really smart. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how Liverpool and City go about this weekend. And Reinders didn't play this week, which was sad. He didn't start, but I think with Shirky coming in, he's going to have less time on the whole. But Shirky did really well. I mean, he like you said, that was almost Kevin De Bruyne-esque, like the first assist with his head. So it was really interesting to watch. But yeah, it's going to be a great game. I'm hoping that it's going to be fire on all cylinders from both sides.
I think a good point you mentioned with Reinders, he's kind of dipped a little bit in the past couple of weeks. Or when I say dip, maybe he hasn't just performed to what the expectation was. And with Shirky coming in and hitting some form, it seems to be part of City's plan to just get the ball to Shirky as quickly as possible so that he can then choose which attacking option they're going to release, and distribute. But on this tactical approach, if we're talking about where City might be transitioning a bit more, obviously you mentioned Haaland. If I'll bring you in here with regards to Haaland coming up against Konate and Van Dijk, what are your thoughts on that battle?
So the thing is, I think the last couple of games might have or probably fills that Liverpool defense with some more sort of momentum and with more confidence. So coming up against somebody like Haaland, who is absolutely like putting anything in the back of the net, anything that he wants to goes into the back of the net. I think that's it's going to be a bit of an obstacle for him, because now they have their tails up a bit. They sort of welcoming this challenge. But just a bit on what you guys were saying. So Pep played a 4-3-2-1 over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. He only had one position-based player in that team, Nico Gonzalez. He had Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, and Ryan Cherky. All players who obviously they don't like keeping the ball long. They want to get rid of it as soon as possible. And that's sort of like quick shifting between players. Like it's only going to benefit somebody like Erling Haaland. So he's going to be on the shoulder of the last defender all the time. And he's probably, if he's going to choose between Van Dijk or Konate, he's going to be choosing Konate all day, every day. He knows that there's going to be a mistake in there. He knows that there's going to be a bit of a weakness in there. And if Pep plays more or less the same team or a similar team against Liverpool, they're going to try to get it to him as quick as possible, and he's going to be trying to run off that final shoulder as quick as possible. So I think that there definitely is a sort of a game plan that we can sort of decipher already. But yeah, that's just how I see him going against those defenders at the moment.
Yeah, interesting. So, Brandon, talk to me about the goalkeeper situation. I know Alisson obviously injured, so I'm assuming Mohamed Dashvili will be in the post. I always butcher that. But what's your opinion been about him and how he's been filling in for Alisson so far?
The last two games obviously better, but look, maybe I'm just so used to how good Alisson is that it doesn't really matter who steps in. It will be a bit of a downgrade, although Keller, when he was at Liverpool, did a really good job. But he's definitely not as good with his feet as Alisson. Not that Alisson is crazy good with his feet. He's not like Edison. But I think, especially the game against Palace, and against Brentford as well, I think that's where Mohamed really got exposed quite a lot. Where, against Brentford, like the last team you want to get your kicks wrong, where it's going out to the side for throw-ins, is Brentford. And so that's where you can expose him. But in a game like this, where a team's not playing long ball and set pieces and corners, then I think he's all right. So I'm not too worried going into this game. Worried about Mamas really.
So you got a lot of, I mean, you got some confidence obviously in your defense, and like you said earlier, you think this is probably their best 11 that they played last night. So how's your confidence in the midfield, and do you also see them kind of finding their form at the right time now and gelling as a unit?
Absolutely, especially McAllister. I think Soboslai has been informed the whole season. I think he's been our best player.
Yeah.
But McAllister is finally starting to find some rhythm, and he's that guy who, he can keep the tempo going for us, keep things ticking, a bit like what Hendo used to do when he was at Liverpool. And Soboslai can just do that dog work, McAllister also does do his dog work as well. So, yeah, it's nice to see everyone finally clicking at the right time. I still think the title is Arsenal's to win for sure. I can't see. I can't
Arsenal's to
see.
win or Arsenal's to lose?
Oh, Arsenal's to lose. I can't see Arsenal dropping more than 7 points and Liverpool making up more than 7 points. That makes sense.
So on that, it's quite interesting because there's a article up on the Premier League website about the statistics or the statistical significance of where teams are after 10 games. And 46% of the time, the team that's first on the log goes on to win the league after 10 games, right? The teams that actually win it more often are the teams sitting in third position, which is currently Liverpool, right? And the teams that have come outside of the top three to actually win it from after 10 games has been City. City have done it from 6th position, and United did it twice from 6th. So generally, you're looking at the winners coming from those positions, right? Which again is fairly interesting because the statistics it goes back to when the Premier League started. So it's I think 26 seasons or something. So quite interesting. I was reading it just before we went on. So yeah, definitely something to watch.
Trying to get any reason not to say that Arsenal's going to win the title this year. Just trying to get any
I say
of
every
those
season. My prediction was Arsenal won, right? I think
True,
that was
true.
my prediction.
I think
Yeah.
all of us
So,
predicted Arsenal to win this season.
I'm just
because
trying to be a host, and give the impartial.
Okay. I love that. The stats are good.
But that win that you guys had against Newcastle, something mentally changed there. Like something's happened there. And from that game, that sort of made me go, okay, something's different.
Look, as a fan, I'm currently watching games, and I feel like, okay, I know we're gonna score at some point, but I'm like, no shot on target, and I'm like, that's the one that I'm actually watching. It's like I had to keep this thing. No, so last night I think there were 2 shots and it was just off target, and I was like, that better not count because it was wide. But yeah, it's an interesting time. But look, let's not make this about me, man. I'll get my chance next week. Back to the big game preview. I wanted to know from you, Riaz, your thoughts on the forward line for Liverpool. And we'll come back to AF after this. But are you going Isak Ekitike, or are you picking both? Which one?
I would love to see in a game that isn't as important, like in a game against, I don't know, let's say, no, actually, I'm trying to think of a team Wolves. Let's say against Wolves. I would love to see them both play together. Just for interest's sake, just to see how that would go. In like a 4-4-2 old school style with Szoboszlai maybe on the right, like something like that maybe. But in this game, I start Ekitike. I mean, Ekitike has been amazing so far. He's just a better form player at the moment, and it was at the moment it looks. I was just about to say at the moment it looks unnecessary, like to have bought Isak for so much money, but. Then again, he hasn't had time to kind of fit into the team as much as he should. Like you need time to fit into a new team and to come into match fitness and things like that. So I'm sure. I mean, we all said last season he was the best or the second best striker, I guess.
I'm just gonna stop with there because I've been making fun of Mbuma, right? Because you also are United by proven talent, blah blah blah, and Cunha as well, right? I was making that joke, and what time did they need to blend into anything? That guy hit the ground running game 1, So did Cunha. They needed no time to
Did
assimilate
Cunha
into the
though? Did
team.
Cunha do that though? But
Yeah, when he
they were
was
both match
injured.
fit as well. They were semi match fit.
I'm not buying. Yeah, but I mean, you need to train
It
and
was
do so.
Isak's
There's
own
no
fault. He
problem.
went on strike.
Exactly.
I agree.
So
But I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
not
we can't write him
agreeing
off
from
yet,
that
is what I'm
now.
saying. We can't write him
But that's
off
why
yet,
you
is what
buy
I'm saying.
Isak, because he's played in the Premier League before. Like, I have more patience with Wirtz because he comes from a different league,
That's true. I
right?
agree with you on that.
So
man.
Isak then played in the Premier League for like 3 years or whatever, and he's the best
Mhm.
striker in the Premier League after Haaland. So I don't buy that he needs time to gel and
Maybe
whatever.
Ekitike is just better than him
Um,
then. You don't know.
But
Because we haven't seen
yeah, I mean,
Ekitike play either
to come
yet.
back to that point that Hamza made about not needing Isak, it's actually funny how it worked out, because I think Liverpool probably felt they weren't confident of getting Isak. So they bought
Yeah.
Ekitike, right?
Yeah.
And then when Isak became available, or he forced a move through, they did it because it's an opportunity that you don't pass, right? You're getting the striker who shows what he can do. And I mean, he's really good, right? Triple threat. He can score both feet with the head, proven in the Premier League. So you don't pass on that deal. But it has caused a bit of a conundrum for Slot
Yeah.
in terms of who to pick.
Yeah.
And I agree with
You
you. I
have to
think
pick on
from a
form.
form perspective, Ekitike
Yeah.
starts and Isak has to
Agreed.
earn his way into the team. So, if just to pause for you quickly, just from your perspective, Brandon, as a Liverpool fan, do you also buy into that Ekitike is the form guy and should start, or do you want to see them kind of make way for Isak in the team based on his price tag?
No, I think whoever's playing better should start. I really do think it's as simple as that. I know that obviously money will get brought into it, but listen, Ekitike wasn't like change, you know. He was
Yeah.
also quite expensive. So, and I also I don't agree that I think it's easy to say that we didn't need Isak, because let's say that Ekitike gets injured on Sunday,
Yeah.
then what? Who's
Yeah.
our
So,
striker?
yeah,
Like
you're right. You
Chiesa.
could say you needed the
What would we be
depth,
doing?
but could have kept
Chiesa
Diaz,
hasn't been
right?
bad.
But Diaz wanted to leave. Yeah, so Hamza, tell us why you think you didn't need Isak as a Liverpool supporter, just to see if we may be misunderstanding you or
He thinks
understanding you properly.
Chiesa's good enough to start up front. That's what he's saying.
Mr. Bray, thanks for coming. You are a bit early, just hang in there. We'll get back to you when we talk about United. You know, first we talk about the Champions League teams, then we get to the teams that are, playing on other days of the week. But do stay with us. We like your comments in the chat. So, for you, just to bring it full circle, and then we'll transition to the next game here. But what's your feeling about the biggest battle? Where do you think this game is going to be won and lost?
Yeah, I think it's defense versus the strikers. Like Ireland up against Van Dijk and Konate, Ekitike up against whichever combination of defenders Pep Guardiola decides he wants to put out on that day. It's never going to be consistent with Pep. So yeah, like Ekitike is not going to know who he's going to come up against. And I'm saying Ekitike because I think Isak is still injured at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't even on the bench last night. So I think Ekitike starts, and I don't know if Isak makes the squad over the weekend anyways. So yeah, I think it's just about how that sort of attacking versus defending goes over the weekend. I don't really think the midfield battle is going to be all that important. I literally think it's going to be who's going to be more lethal between the two teams in the final third.
Okay, we'll come back to you for prediction after we go around. Riaz, for you, what's the key battle?
I really like the wingers against the fullbacks, specifically the City wingers against the Liverpool fullbacks. I think Kirkes has been a bit underwhelming this season so far, but Robertson last night was amazing. Apparently,
It was rolling back the years.
Yeah, I mean, and on the weekend, I think Robertson started as well. When he came on, he did really well. So I think the Bradley Robertson partnership against the Doku and whoever else starts on the right partnership is going to be interesting. And I think that's where kind of if when City do have the ball, if they can play through and are able to expose Konate or Kirkes or whatever combination that's going to be, I think that's going to be really interesting to watch. But hopefully Soboslai starts. Like my main thing is if midfield three start like they should start, Soboslai, Gravenberch, and McAllister, I think that will be sorted. I think that's more in Liverpool's favour. But the fullbacks, I think if they can expose, if City can expose the fullbacks, it's going to be interesting.
That's a good point you made about Robertson, and I think experience in certain games you have to go with experience. And that game last night, it was crying out for Robertson, even though he has his limitations, obviously as he ages. But knowing that you've done it before, it's a lot better for him than it is for Kirkes, who is starting to grow in confidence. After a more positive experience recently, but he has been struggling. So experience, brother, I'm telling you, when it comes to these tough games, throw the experienced guys in there. Brandon, for you, where is Liverpool winning this game?
I think it's like what I said earlier. Can City deal with the pressure that we're going to put on them, and can we deal with the transition? I think it's too cliche to say, oh, this game's going to be won in midfield. I don't think it's that kind of game.
Yeah.
And what you're saying about Haaland earlier, I agree that he should pick on Konate, but Haaland's one of those guys where I don't think that he thinks of like that. I think he looks at Van Dijk and goes, I still haven't gotten the best of you. I want to get the best of you. And I think he likes getting into those sort of battles. So, yeah, hopefully we can deal with him once again. I think Anfield is... Oh, wait, but this isn't at Anfield. But Anfield is the only place he hasn't scored at yet, right?
Could be.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
I could be.
someone mentioned that in the
so.
comments as well. Okay, score prediction time. Brandon, for you, score.
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
AF.
I'm going to go 1-0 City.
Yay.
Damn
City
you,
gonna
AF.
keep a
Damn
clean
you.
sheet. Okay, Riaz.
You know me, man. You know where I'm going with this. I'm going to the fence and I'm going to sit on it all day long. I'm going to go with. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm crossing my fingers for an exciting game because this is two of like the best teams in the Premier League to watch on any given day in terms of entertainment value. So I'm going to go 3-3 draw.
I just want to point out what Fantasy Premier League does to people. This is a Liverpool supporter predicting City to win because he wants to captain Haaland.
See, this is just a mental play, right? So he does this so
it's
that
the
if he
reverse
loses,
psychology.
then there's something to be happy about. But if you win, you also have something to be happy about. So you come out of the game feeling good no matter what.
I like that.
Right? So
that's something
that's
I would do.
a nice thing to do. You're kind of hedging your bets. So I was actually listening to a podcast where a guy was saying that you always bet against your team because then if you do lose, then at least you win something. And if you win, then you essentially paid to win that game. So it's like if I were to tell you, hey, how much would you pay to know that United's going to beat Spurs on Saturday? You know, the monetary value of that. I thought that was interesting. Not that I buy into that, but some people do. I think that's a very real thing to do.
That
Captain
would
the
be.
opposition and then be happy either way.
Yeah.
I think I'm siding with Brandon on this one. I see Liverpool coming away with a victory. I also think it's going to be 2-1, but I'll just add a little spice and add a goal scorer. So I think Wirtz is going to score.
And the legs is stuck.
I think this is the weekend.
Awesome.
So yeah, let's see if that prediction
He did have
comes
his best
true.
performance last night. Easily his
Yeah,
best
so I'm
performance
thinking with that confidence, carry it into the weekend. And
what would you want the score to be, though, as an Arsenal fan?
one.
Good question.
Yeah, what do you
Can
want
both
the
teams
score
lose? Is it possible for both teams to lose? Now, for me, I'll take a draw. I'll always take a draw. So I
And
just
they
didn't want to
always
sit on the
come
fence.
back to me. They always come
Yeah,
back to
exactly.
me.
But I honestly think Liverpool are looking good for the win. So let's see what happens. We've got some interesting score lines in the comment sections as well. Ottawa, you've got 3-1 to Liverpool. Obviously, we saw Hamza's one earlier. Mubin Khan, welcome, brother. It's nice to have you here. I love your picture, serious pout going on there, 1-0 to Liverpool. I think you said something about Brandon being your own Chiesa. I can't find that comment.
Bro,
Wow, I love it. I see the
I
vision.
get that. I'm not joking. I get that somewhere in a comment section on a daily basis. I don't understand. I think it's just I'm a white guy with this kind of hair. I think that's it.
Yeah, just own it. Just own it, and roll with it. So yeah, that we'll put a bow on the Man City Liverpool for now and move on to what you'd call the undercard if we were talking about the MMA or boxing fight. The
I'd
warm
say
up
the
to the
pre-show
main event,
even. Yeah, not even
the
the undercard.
pre-show.
Pre-show.
What's the other, the matinee?
Matinee.
This is getting worse and worse as we
Spurs
go
against
along.
United. Again, from the log perspective, it's 6 versus 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, not 15 verse 17.
Both teams are on the same points. Spurs well ahead on goal difference. Spurs goal difference is +9. United's is a healthy +1.
Impressive.
Love it.
So we find ourselves at a very interesting juncture because I wanted to mention this earlier, but I thought I'll just hold it till now. Even though the match is Spurs at home, I feel like Spurs play better away. And I feel like they
I was
almost
gonna
set
say
up, when they play at home, they kind of set up like the away team, where they set up more defensively. And you mentioned this, Riaz, when you said Palhinha, Bentancur all playing. And just very little from an attacking perspective at home. But when they play away, it's like the expectation of the fans are gone. And they just play freely. They play a bit more attacking. So I reckon Spurs are going to set up like the away team. But you did mention this earlier, obviously, with that whole defensive mindset of Frank. As a Spurs fan, how are you feeling going into this weekend, coming off the back of the Chelsea defeat, but then also the 4-0 victory against Copenhagen?
That's some pronunciation right there. Much better after last night, I will say. Much better. I mean, I was very down after the weekend because we played so poorly. It was really bad to see. And our home form, like we said, has been shocking this season. And it was a far cry, I mean, to the times where we were playing 9 men on the halfway line against Chelsea, still going for a win, somehow, some way. But I mean, after last night, it showed with we played at home, but we played a different setup. Udogie was in, he made a massive difference. I mean, and I know we make a joke about me supporting a lot of different teams across the league, but when Liverpool are playing Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are playing PSG, and you spend 90 minutes watching 0 of those games and watching Tottenham play Copenhagen, then I guess you know that you love supporting your team, I suppose. So
you're saying that, but there's no proof.
I don't even know. I had to ask if Robertson started. I mean, guys, I did see one thing. I did see though, just quickly off the topic. One thing I did see was luckily our extra time was less than the Liverpool game's extra time, so I switched over just in time for Trent to cross the ball to no one, and everybody booed him. Oh, it was lovely to see. Oh, it was so good.
That almost went out to the corner flag.
Yeah, I went for a throw-in, in fact. It was great.
Only you will find a way to bring Trent into a Spurs discussion.
I will hate Trent all day, every day. Anyways, back to Spurs. Sorry. I think the one pivot of Bentancur playing with Saw as a bit more advanced was crucial too. And the difference, I think, between last night and any Premier League game we've played is that the Premier League, I think the pressing from the Premier League sides are much more impressive. Like Copenhagen hardly pressed us last night. They waited for us to get to a certain point up the field, then they started pressing. Whereas the Premier League sides, they press from like deep, like they'll be on our box at the goal kick and they'll be pressing us already. So we had more time on the ball, which helped us a lot. But it really showed without two sitters that, I mean, Bentancur had a really good game last night. I mean, he passed forward more than he passed back, which is new to me. But he's been really good at breaking up play, and a lot of people were calling for his head because they love Palhinha. So one of them has to go. So they're calling for Bentancur's head. But I think, honestly, as an all-round player, he's a better setter than Palhinha. Palhinha is a better defensively minded player. But I think Bentancur overall, I think he's really good with when he has that space, when there's no one next to him, when he has that space to kind of patrol behind Saw and Chavi. But yeah, it made a big difference to have him sitting alone and Udogi on the left back.
Look, against Man United, I don't think midfield is going to be a problem since they don't really have one. You're going to have to figure out the rest of it because that's where they
Yeah.
can hurt you. They're not going to hurt you in the midfield. They'll hurt you in other ways. So,
I don't know how they're
AF,
gonna hurt
over
us,
to
but they'll
you.
hurt us.
How are you feeling going into the Spurs game? Obviously optimistic, but how optimistic is the question?
I think it's a bit unfortunate that Spurs versus Chelsea last week and they had the performance that they did, because it's a bit of an eye opener, like, for Thomas Frank, what not to do against one of
Yeah.
the sort of bigger teams. And on the flip side, I think that Ruben Amorim will probably revert to what he did against Liverpool and not play Cisco and play somebody like Cunha and Buemo up top, and then bring somebody like Mason Mount in to play in the 10
Oh,
alongside
boy.
either Cunha or Mbuemo. Just because of like people like Kevin Danso, Christian Romero, if they're going to be starting in that defense, you want somebody that's a bit more nimble with his feet rather than a bit of a bruiser or a 6'7" striker that they would be able to like manhandle quite easily. So I think you'll be making a couple of changes like that. And then in midfield, like you said, it will probably be Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. I am a bit concerned that Casemiro is playing almost every game now. His legs have to be giving out sometime. So I'm just waiting for a hamstring injury or some sort of injury that's probably gonna like put us back a bit. And then after the Spurs game, he ends up going going on international duty for 2 or 3 games with Brazil again. So he's going to be playing a lot of minutes, and we need to be managing him somehow. But his backup is Ugarte, and I don't think that there's much trust from Ruben Amorim in Manu Ugarte to be sort of being that bulldog or that bulldozer in the midfielder. But yeah, I really do think that like he's going to try and revert from that front three a bit because of what happened last weekend.
Look, if I was United, I'd just find a way to bypass the midfield and just kick it to the guys up front from the defense or the goalkeeper. The less they have to touch the ball, the better.
That's what they did against Liverpool, though.
Yeah, I want to know from you, right? Obviously, from the outside looking in to your rivals, United, what's your feeling with regards to how they've done so far this season?
Well, first of all, if I was a betting man, this would be the day that I would quit. Would be when it comes to this game. Maybe that's the cure to people who are addicted to betting. It's just they can only bet on Tottenham games, and then maybe they want to be addicted to betting anymore, because both these teams are so unpredictable. I mean, obviously United had a bit of a shocker to the start of the season, but now they've picked it up really well. Almost got that guy a haircut, and then it faltered. And Tottenham, like you said, seem to be struggling at home more than they do away. And United are good on the counter, and Tottenham at home like to be defensive. So what the hell is going to happen in this game? The home team doesn't want to attack the team that wants to counter, but they need to counter. Like, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen in this game, guys.
Yeah,
I couldn't
this is
see the
the type
bit
of
to
game that
myself.
can give you a headache.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a fan, you're gonna watch it. I don't know, and it's a good point to make because United actually do prefer to not have the ball. That's why I was saying, bypass the midfield, because when you get Cunha and Mbuma running at you and you're backpedaling as a defense, that's probably when they're the most dangerous. Obviously now they also got Casemiro at corners, who seems to be scoring quite a bit now. So there is that angle to it. But yeah, I think from my perspective, it's going to be quite interesting to see, because United want to play like the away team, but the way Spurs have been setting up, where they've been playing like the away team at home, it is going to be hard, because it's going to almost be like, no, you take the ball. No, you take it. No, you take it. Like, no team really wants the ball as much. Maybe Spurs do a little bit more. And for me, I think Spurs have a lot of questions in comparison to United. I think United kind of have a settled 11 by now. They've sorted out the goalkeeper, who seems to be fairly solid. Their defense, they're generally playing the same players. So it's kind of settled. I did see Lisandro Martinez coming out of training or something, so I don't know if he's pushing to come back in. But Maguire
Interesting.
against
Only
Tottenham is
after
probably
international break.
okay. So Maguire can still keep his spot. Midfield, we've said before, United's midfield is a bit of a struggle, but they're playing the same guys. And then up front, they do have that option, like AF mentioned, where they can rotate a bit between. They got 3 spots and probably 4 or 5 players that they throw in there. Sesko, Acuna, Mason Mount. And Diallo plays out wide, so he doesn't really count. But they seem a bit more settled. Whereas with Spurs, I think there's a lot of questions with how many midfielders do they play, who do they pair together, and I've actually been quite surprised that Frank hasn't played Richarlison as much. I thought he'd definitely play a bit more. So like we spoke about with Liverpool earlier, where do you play Isak because of the price tag? I think Frank is having that struggle because they got Kolo Muani, and it's like, do I have to play him? Do I play Richarlison? What about Odegaard on the left? Kudus is playing every game and he's doing okay, but the final product has been lacking. There's this running joke that Kudus will beat all the defenders and then pass the ball to no one. So,
There's no one
it's
for
kind
him.
of what is Spurs' best unit up front, because they've got options. They've got Brennan Johnson, Xavi Simons. You've got tons of players, but it seems like you haven't figured out who to put in there and when. So I think momentum-wise,
Combinations is interesting. They haven't figured out the
exactly,
combinations yet.
Romero's coming back, so him and Van der Ven probably sit together in the defense again. You said the doggy played. Pedro Porro kind of has right back locked. So
Yeah.
it's more questions than answers for me with Spurs, whereas United, even though like you said, Brendan, a bit unpredictable, but I think they've kind of settled
The team
into
is
some
settled
sort of
at least.
rhythm now. The team
Yeah.
is settled exactly. So I think with this one, I'm probably leaning towards United to get the result again. I think I'm just going with the away team here, like I did with the game earlier. So score prediction, I think Hamza's got 2-1 to United there. I want to say probably 3-1 United. Especially if they get an early goal, because I think if they get that early goal, it opens the game up and Spurs can't sit. They'll have to make a game out of it. So yeah, I'll go 3-1 United. AF?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Hamza on this one, 2-1 United. I would like Lamans to keep another clean sheet, but yeah, I'll be happy with the win.
Yeah, take the 3 points. You can't get everything yet.
100%.
And Spurs aren't that great at putting the ball in the box, so you don't have to worry about that too much. I think they're really missing Madison. So Riaz, your score prediction?
At risk of not going for another draw. At risk of not going for another draw.
There's a question for you, Riaz, before you answer that.
Is it worth paying 80 to go watch it doing nothing on Saturday? Probably not. I would say no.
And send through the videos of when United score goals. Thank you so much.
I would say no, because I don't want to support the fact that they are increasing the prices
before you continue, Riaz. I think just to say about Hamza, he's quite lucky when it comes to goals. He went to an England game not too long ago, and all the goals happened on his side. So might be worth it then to go capture some goals there. So yeah, okay, Riaz.
You're saying goals, right? Not girls.
Goals.
Okay, goals. Sorry.
I asked him about the other thing before, but he's apparently too focused on his studies.
That's good. That's good. What a good man. Good man. Still too young. I think I just have a sneaking suspicion. I have a sneaking suspicion that Harry Maguire is going to come off the bench and score the winner, which scares me a lot.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. Come on, Riaz. Chest out, brother.
You don't know him. He will pick United to win all day.
I'm not going to, but I do struggle with the chest out bit. But I'm just prefacing this by saying that I think Maguire's going to come off the bench and score the winner. But as long as Sesko doesn't score, I'm happy because he can go on both routes. I'm gonna go 2-0 Spurs.
Yes, bro. That's what
There
I
we
like to
go.
hear.
Finally.
Thank you for
I
that, Brandon. I
Finally.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I got the
I
same
like it.
score.
First time
2-0
I'm going to
Really?
flip this.
Really? It's Brandon. He's
Yeah,
giving me
man.
the optimism.
I got a soft spot for Thomas Frank, so I really want him to do
Okay.
well at Spurs.
So would you prefer for people to tell you look like Thomas Frank over Chiesa?
Well, okay, let's steady there. Hell no. Let's not go that way.
Let's not add fuel to the fire here.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Yeah,
defend
no.
him.
I thought I'll
He's
just make
defending me. I'm going to defend him.
I thought I'll just take some heat off the Chiesa thing since he didn't like it. So you're also going 2-0 Spurs. So it's set
Yes,
up
sir.
quite well. Anyone in the comments, if you have any predictions, let us know. Flux, I don't know who said 3-3, eh? Is this now from the
I
earlier
think she's watching. Yeah, the
I
earlier
think it
Liverpool
was from
one.
the
City?
earlier game.
Okay.
Liverpool game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Riaz, please, you're causing havoc with the people. Keep it simple. Okay, just if anyone has any questions in the chat, just let us know and we can bring it up here. But for the rest of the league, obviously Arsenal plays Sunderland this weekend. Granit Xhaka coming back. Sunderland have done really well. It's funny to say this, but it's a top 4 clash with Sunderland being in 4th position. So it'll be quite interesting to see. Couple of other games that are quite interesting towards the lower end as well. I think we have Leeds playing Forest, if I'm not mistaken. So that's quite a big one when it comes to the relegation situation. And then Burnley against West Ham. So when it comes to these games, I think going into the international break, you probably want some momentum, to take you through. And yeah, I mean, we're not fans of the international break, but I think for me as an Arsenal fan, I'm actually quite happy that it's coming because we've got a growing injury list. So that extra time for some recovery quite helpful. And then we do have a tough run of fixtures once we come back from the break. I think it's Spurs, Chelsea, and Bayern.
It's okay if you guys have injuries. You have Oxlade-Chamberlain training with you guys. Super sub.
Really?
You must
Whoa.
go train at Liverpool, bro. I don't know why he came to us.
He's an Arsenal legend. What do you mean?
Nah, he's a Liverpool legend. Hamza's question: will Arsenal's clean sheet run finally end?
No,
Look,
it's not
if it's
going to
gonna
end.
end,
Hamza. It's not going to end.
if it's gonna end, I don't mind if it's to Granit Xhaka. But other than that, I don't think so. And generally, this is when these kind of streaks do come to an end, right? When we least expect it to. So it's gonna end at some point.
No, draw all the
probably
way.
say not against Sunderland, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen against Sunderland.
Is this at the Stadium of Light or is it
at the Stadium of Light? Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where it is exactly.
Arsenal away.
Couple of other matches, obviously in the Premier League. It's mostly like 9 versus 10, 12 versus 13. So it's interesting for the log. We'll see some changes. But Riaz, anything else from?
Sorry.
Wolves
versus Dogs.
Wolves versus Chelsea.
Yeah, sorry. That's
is this weekend. What's this hate towards Chelsea now?
No, I thought I would summon someone back into the chat. That's all.
No, he's gone, bro. He's gone. He's on another level. So yeah, the Premier League is set up quite well. I think looking forward to this round of fixtures, before we go into the international break. And as a football fan, hopefully our teams don't pick up any injuries, on the international break. But I think once we come back, there's a nice run for all the teams, going into Christmas, and we really get to see where everybody's at. Another question that I had, which I forgot to ask earlier, and I do apologize, Brandon, talk to us about your experience on Premier League TV. How was that?
Oh, nerve-wracking. I was absolutely breaking it, bro. First of all, because that Nigerian guy that was on with me, he was supposed to go first. So I was sitting there kind of like this right now, where I'm on the screen and I can see this. Sorry?
That dude came on strong.
So I was sitting like this. I can see the studio, and then you almost like start watching the show, and you forget that
Okay.
you're about to be on the show. So I'm like
Yeah.
sitting there like a fool, waiting for them to interview the Nigerian guy, and all of a sudden I hear, "And here's Brandon," and then all of a sudden I was on because his connection was bad, so they put me first. So I was like, "Yo!" And then what really tripped me out was that I can hear me, but then I can see
Okay.
me on the screen, and then hear my voice come out of there. So that is the worst when you're speaking and then you hear yourself speaking again like a second later. So I
Yeah.
had to like turn the volume off while I was speaking. Oh man. But I think it went all right. I'm making it sound like it went really bad. I think it went all right. It was a really
It
cool
did.
experience. They
It
were
did
really
go alright.
lovely.
You were good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it was, and they so yo man, they tried to get me to say Slot should be sacked without saying
Yeah.
it for sure. By
They did
bringing
it twice.
Klopp up, and
They
of
did it
course, if I
twice.
say, yo, of course I want Klopp back, well then that means I want Slot sacked. But I wasn't gonna fall for that crap, man.
Nice. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
They
Mustn't
can't
fall
catch
into the
you.
games. Yeah. They like doing that. It's
Yeah,
very
definitely.
annoying. They set
But
you
it is,
up.
I think that's where we find ourselves currently. And AF and I were talking just off air about this. Like, it's trying to create narratives and to create flashpoints, that people watch will go viral, which is, uh, you know, uh, uh, challenging on its own. Because, like Brandon was saying now, if he said he wants Klopp back, then what does that mean? And people look at the read between the lines as opposed to what you're actually saying. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the show, guys, almost hitting an hour. So I think we've done a fantastic job with time. Thank you all. This has been fun. The chat was obviously buzzing again as usual. Again, sorry for keeping the champ waiting, but everyone else, thanks for all your comments. Thanks for your activity. Keep up the energy in supporting us, and hopefully we can keep going and keep growing. And as we come to an end, just to go around again, if what where can the people find you? Sorry, and what's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, at AF Parker 642 on every social media platform. More commonly now on Threads. I'm very active on Threads. The Threads community is amazing. So if you aren't on there yet, I think now is a good time to sort of make your way over there. It's a very respectable community as well. So yeah, hope to see you guys there.
Riaz, I would ask where people can find you, but we know that you activate Ghost Protocol once you log off. Um, so we leave
You
it there.
can.
But anything
No, we're gonna
anything
we're
coming
gonna
from you in the
hopefully.
next couple of days?
Yeah, we're gonna hopefully be better on the on. I'm learning. I'm watching YouTube videos of how to do TikTok. So hopefully I can
Okay.
get our TikTok page somewhat operational.
Yeah, because
Um,
you and I need to get our NFL takes off. We need
some
an
way.
audience for it.
Yeah, some way. So hopefully our TikTok page will become more active. And I did tweet today.
Oh, whoa,
I'm not
whoa, whoa,
sure
whoa!
Wow,
how often I will tweet, but I tweeted today because I was watching
amazing.
because I saw Gareth Bale on CBS last night, and I just fell in love all over again. My favorite player of all time. So I did tweet at Parker_Diaz. I don't do it often. I do it once a month, but yeah, you can follow me there if maybe. No,
The
no,
fans
none
have
of that,
spoken,
please,
Riaz.
Ramiz.
The fans have spoken.
Please, please. Ramiz, do not put that out into the universe. I'll try my best to stay away from it, but if no buts. I'm staying away from it. Thank you, Ramiz, though.
Now we need to see you. And speaking of TikTok, obviously, Brandon, where can the people find you? And you're doing some great work over there as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, MightyReds_97 on all platforms.
Do you have anything big coming
What's
up?
yeah?
No, not that I know of. Hopefully more can happen. But yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's been so lucky being on the podcast, really.
No, it's been fun to have you, and obviously we hope to have you back again at some point. I think we timed it really well with Liverpool getting 2 wins, so you could come on and be positive.
Yeah,
Hamza was also
exactly.
quite ready to jump on, so at some point, Hamza, we will get you on, so you can tell us about you. I think you might actually be the Liverpool supporter version of Riaz. which could be interesting. So hopefully we get to see that. From me, obviously, like I've said, you can see my handles there: Active Threads, Blue Sky. Um, Actually, while I'm on that, Mubin, I see you in the comments here before. I haven't seen you on here in a while. So Brandon, are you and Mubin, do you know each other, or is he a super fan? What's the
I
story?
think he's a super fan.
No idea, but maybe we will know each other after this now. Thanks for the
There we
compliment.
go,
Keep
Mubin.
buttering me up,
Thanks for
bro.
coming. I'm glad that I found someone that you want to watch. So hopefully we'll see you on the channel as well. Bray is a bit dangerous, so if you could just moderate him from time to time, that would be quite helpful. But yeah, for me, Threads, Blue Sky, quite active. Obviously, running the updates for Sportycast, all sports. We had a fantastic World Series. I'm sure nobody here watches baseball or follows baseball, but it was epic. I had some people
So
that I
good.
managed to activate. Couple of other sports going to the weekend. Riaz and I obviously following NFL quite a bit this season. We've got our fantasy league going where he's not doing too bad for a newbie. He's sitting tied second at the moment for someone in their first season.
That's
Um,
basically fourth. Come on now, tied second.
yeah, well, there's three people in second, but credit to you. You're doing quite well. And then obviously with cricket, we lost that final on Sunday, which was tough. But I think the women did really well. They were fantastic.
Yeah, they were.
Proud to have to be able to support them. You follow baseball fails if that counts. Yeah, I mean every little bit counts. So yeah, that's it. I think there's any other sport coming up this weekend. Not a big one, as far as I can tell. So it could be nice and quiet, focus on football, and we pick it up
Formula
again
One only,
next
really.
week. Looking forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks for joining us, and we are out of here.